Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So here's a newly updated version of my zombie deck. I figured I'd start the new year off, with something for you guys to vote on, and everyone voted for zombies. So far, I've hoped everyone has had a great holiday so far. Um, we had Christmas, we're already on New Year's, so I figured, what, now's a good time as any to go and just keep doing my deck profiles and just kind of like expand on it. So, yeah, I made some changes on the main deck and found another build that I just liked a little bit better than my previous one, so let's go and get started. So starting off with the main deck, still 40 cards, playing 2 copies of Doom King Balor Drakh. You only need 2, 3's a brick, but he brings himself back every standby phases if he's in your graveyard, and the fact that he's 2 forms of disruption. If a zombie monster activates an effect, you can either banish that effect, or you can, not banish that effect, you can negate that effect or banish one monster on the field or in the grave, so that's really good. Next, 2 copies of Necrorol Banshee, mainly just to get you access to your zombie world, and she also protects zombie world as long as she's on field. So the fact that she's a quick effect is really nice, and I always like to combo this off with Super Poly, where you can discard her from hand, and then just have her at the ready for another copy of Zombie World if you need it. 2 copies of Glow Bloom. If Zombie World's out, you can special summon a level 5 or higher zombie from your deck, or you can just search it out and add it to your hand, but you generally use this to turbo out your Doom King or your Vampire Furline. Those are your 2 primary targets, so I didn't feel like 3 was needed. 2 is just perfectly fine. Of course, for a zombie deck, gotta have 3 copies of Unizombie. It's just to get you access to your Shiranui package, and also helps you. It's also a 1-card Psyframe Lord Omega, which is really nice. Speaking of which, 3 copies of Shiranui Solitaire. Just because, you can just tribute a zombie, special summon a zombie type tuner, which case Unizombie. And I forgot to mention, with the Unizombie, you can also adjust levels and also send your zombies to the grave, just to get cards like Mizuki a lot faster or whatever you need. 1 Spirit Master. I decided to bring this card back in. I have a tech card that actually makes this card a lot more consistent now, because sometimes I never see it, so I need to find faster ways just to get its banishment effect, where you can pop 1 face-up card on the field. So Spirit Master comes into clutch whenever I need it, and it's really good going second too. Next, 2 copies of Mizuki. I actually just got my hands on the Duelist Saga ones. They're a little warped right now, so I'm gonna have to flatten them out. But yeah, it's just a monster reborn for zombies, so pretty good. And of course, can't have Mizuki without Gozuki. I decided to bump it down to 1 now instead of just running 2, just because I don't want to see it as often as I would like to anymore. Especially with some of the adjustments I made, so I think 1 is just fine. 1 Vampire Furline's a generic zombie for zombie decks. She special summons herself whenever a monster declares an attack, and she's a power buff, so not bad. And then 1 copy of Danger Mothman. I will run more Dangers later on. I'm still expecting the rest of the Danger package that I need in the mail. So for now, I'm leaving my monster lineup as it is. But yeah, for now, 1 Mothman is just fine. It's just Dark World Dealings. And again, just another free body when it comes to Dangers. For hand traps, I'm only running 4. 2 Ash, it's a zombie, as well as 2 copies of Ghost Bell. And the reason for Ghost Bell is because it dodges cards like Called by the Grave and DD Crow, because people are always going to try to get rid of that Doom King Balor Drakh because no one wants to deal with it. So Ghost Bell is a good way just to dodge that. Well, dodge those type of cards, and yeah, it's just, it's pretty neat. Alright, so that's it for the monsters. Now we're moving on to spells. For spells, I'm running 3 copies of Zombie World, of course. Gotta run it. It's actually a floodgate in and itself. Prevents tribute summoning unless it's for a zombie monster. So that's actually pretty nice against the Draco decks. It somewhat stops the Thunder Dragons too, because like for Colossus, they can't tribute the Thunder monster just to bring it out for free. They'd actually have to fusion summon it the correct way. And also, it also neutralizes Titan and Colossus protection effects, because they have to banish Thunder monsters. And Zombie World turns everything on the field and in the graves into zombie monsters. So if they don't have any Thunder monsters, they can't protect them. Next, 3 copies of Instant Fusion. I actually changed one of my targets for it, just for better consistency, and also try to keep this deck into like a control style aggression strategy. 3 Super Poly. Since you're running Zombie World, you gotta run Super Poly, because you have 1 viable target for Super Poly for this. And plus, there's a lot of dark decks going around, so figured Super Poly is definitely needed. From here, it's just a bunch of one-ofs. I'm running the 1 Terraforming. 1-for-1. And my new tech is actually Goldsark. This is actually a really powerful going second play. Like if you're going second, you need to get rid of a problematic monster, like, or as a bait, or you can also use this as a bait card. I usually target my Spirit Master, banish it, and just pop one face-up card on the field. That way I can like just go from there. I'm trying out card destruction. I haven't seen it much, but you know when it comes up, it definitely helps, especially if the fact that you can fix your hand and also get an idea what your opponent is playing too. So it's kind of iffy whether or not I'll keep it. We'll just have to see later on, see how it goes. But yeah, not too bad, especially for zombies. Of course, got to run Foolish Burial. I'm bringing back Monster Reborn. I was tempted to run Book of Life because of card destruction, but I felt like it wasn't really needed, so I think Monster Reborn is slightly better. And for the only traps running in this deck, since everyone was complaining about it, I'm bringing back Reverie of the Warlords. So it is a really good card, especially if you combo it off with Vampire Sugar, because you lock out your opponent from summoning anything from zombies. So yeah, it's not bad. But again, you have to like really hard draw into this card. That's why I never consider this the deck's true win condition. There are other win conditions that the deck has, so you just got to like play smart about it. Alright, so now we're moving on to the extra deck. Decided to bump up my Vampire Sucker back to 2, just because, you know, she is a free draw of Monarch Stormforth, and also the fact that she can bring back zombie monsters from your opponent's graveyard. It's actually not too bad. Next, I'm running 1 copy of Avenged Savior, which is really good to also dump your Doom King Barrel Drug to the grave or any other zombie you need, just to give this card a power boost. Still running Hita. Hita actually really helps out, especially against like certain matchups like Sky Strikers or Salamangreats. You can just use them for a link climbing ability, so Hita really comes into clutch whenever you need it. 1 Linkuriboh, 1 Salamangreat Almirage, and the only link form running right now is Boral Sword Dragon. I was running Avermax, and then I went to Borreload, and then Topologic Bomber Dragon, but out of all of them, for OTK purposes, I think Boral Sword's just the best one to play. For my Synchro lineup, I'm still running the Red Eye Zombie Necro, Shogun Saga, which is another good way to banish Spirit Master from the grave if you needed to. 1 Cyframe Lord Omega. You know, this card's pretty necessary, especially if you want to rip cards out of your opponent's hand for a turn, so it really helps. And for time purposes, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, you know, especially if you want to get that edge on game 3, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend definitely helps. Instant fusion targets, I'm running 1000 Eyes Restrict. It's just a good way to also get rid of like problematic monsters, like let's say you were up against Colossus or Dingirsu. You play this, take the Dingirsu or Colossus, whatever you need to take, go into Linkuriboh, boom, you're all set to go. Next, I'm also running Il Shadal Window, which really helps going first because like you play this, you normal summon a zombie, go into play Zombie World, go into Vampire Sucker. You can bring this Il Shadal Window back with Mizuki later, since you know it'll be treated as a zombie with Zombie World out, and since it was technically fusion summoned with instant fusion, it's a good way just to stop your opponent later from special summoning too many monsters. So it's really good against the control heavy strategy, or sorry, not the control heavy, but the combo heavy strategies. So yeah, Il Shadal Window will definitely help out. So try it out, see how you guys like it. And for my super poly targets, I'm still playing the 1 Starving Venom. I was running Violet Chimera, but I took it out since, you know, Dragon Necro is a zombie or not a zombie monster. It just requires 2 zombie monsters. With Zombie World out, everything's gonna become zombie anyway. So you just rip apart your opponent's board with super poly. So yeah, and it's also really neat for the OTK strategy as well. All right, so for the side deck, I changed it up like a lot. For the side, I'm running 3 copies of Nibiru. If I'm going second, this really helps against combo strategies. Ghost Sister also works too, since it's also a zombie monster. Now, this card is a little gimmicky, but I still enjoy playing it in my deck. Drag Down into the Grave. It's essentially a card just to peek into your opponent's hand, choose whatever card you want to discard, and then they draw one. Of course, they do the same thing back to you. But for you, with the zombies, it doesn't really matter because you want everything in the grave anyway, so it's just a good way to plus out of it. I'm also running 3 copies of Twin Twisters for like back row heavy strategies, and then Dinomischus. It was either this or Eradicator, but out of the 2, I just prefer Dinomischus. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this combo or this deck profile, and just stay tuned for the combo video. And yeah, I'll see you guys until then.